So, Kontakt 8 is here. Let's talk about what they got right. Now, right, I fully admit, is subjective based on what you were hoping for, and there's way more than I could cover in just this video, so I'm just going to look at some brief things. Now, as you can see, I had some things loaded already. This is Tools, and then we have Leap. And this is the Kontakt player, as you can see. There was a lot of discussion about whether Native Instruments cared about their long-term people, at least in the comments of one video. And, oh, it's so expensive, and if you already have this stuff, you have to pay hundreds of dollars more for 3 new instruments. It's more than 3, by the way. But someone with an exceptional ability to think outside of the marketing box said, just get Kontakt Player. I mean, if you want the tools, Kontakt Player's got all of it. And I wish I had thought of that, but I'm glad that I listened to someone who did think of that because, well, honestly, I did start with Kontakt Player version 5 is what I got started with. So anyway, Kontakt Player is the free version, smaller, scaled-down version of Kontakt, and all it does is it hosts the things. There's some features I imagine that it doesn't have, but playing around with this as I have been, I'm not super limited by what's going on. Okay, so this is the browser, and then we have the section down below where you're advertised different things like the session keys in this case, and these things I think you'll be interested in for purchase. The ones that you have are here, and then just like Kontakt 7, you have your presets over here. Now this is damage you're hearing, and you can preview them. All right, so that's the same. And then you have all these sections you can go. Now, it does have a new section called Combined. And, okay, so piano uno, J bass, Kontakt, so Kontakt. Okay, and then you can hear the sounds that have been combined. Now, slightly these are being worked out with tools. So tools, we have our chords tool and our phrases tool. And then we have Leap, which is Leap kind of reminds me of Arcade from Output in the way that you have these different patterns. And they say this is something that was settings that were buried kind of under the hood in Kontakt, but are made more visible and accessible to more people who aren't, I guess, into the deep level of programming, as we'll call it, that you can do with Kontakt. And I might be one of those people. So there's that one. There's loops. And these are loops that I think I have these installed already, yes, or they wouldn't be here. And then one shots. So very good. Oh, it's Halcon Sky. I like Halcon Sky. Let's see. Okay. So that section is pretty much the same. If we go ahead and close that, and we have the new layout. Now, what I really like is they brought back this section from Kontakt 6. Kontakt 6, it took me a minute, where you can browse your other instruments over here on the side, and you can open them as well. Let's say we wanted to open 70s Drummer, and then they added back with that this ability. Here are your sections. You can preview them, and the great thing about this is that you don't have to be constantly going back to the library view to do it. You can just do it right here on the side, and it doesn't take you out of it. It kind of removes a step that would possibly take you out of the creative flow, and it puts you in where you can think about a sound. Now, they still don't, when you go to search, you still can't put spaces. Like I can't go, say, Alicia, but I can't put a space and put keys. It doesn't want me to do that. So I do wish that you were able to do that, but it doesn't seem to slow things down because you can just scroll very quickly, in fact, through these lists. So the tools, let's talk about the tools a little bit. I have in front of me The Gentleman is the instrument I have loaded up. In this section, above the instruments that you have, and you can access everything else, including tools, loops, and your combined all over here without going to the library view, which is nice. But right up here, we have the Gentleman, and under the instruments, and you can go here and we could add another instrument like Analog Dreams. We could say different versions, and we could say this. I'm going to turn the tools off for a minute. Oh, the tool is off. There we go. That's very loud. Let's see. Let me turn the volume down. Oh, that's panning. Okay. We don't want it to pan. Okay. Now, it responds a little bit slower, at least on mine, when you add more instruments. So we're just going to go here. The one instrument of the Gentleman. And then we can add some tools. In this case, I've already pulled up the chords tool. Now, what's cool about this, I'm going to power it on here, is that you can play chords with one finger. Now, I have loaded up right now some chords that I have created. And I'll show you how I did that in a minute. But let's just go to like some initial settings with it. So we'll load up chords again. And just like all of the native instruments presets, you get a quick preview of what that's going to sound like. So here, now, if you're looking down at the keys, the keyboard, on-screen keyboard, you can see the color codes. So all the blue keys are all octaves. Now this is as low as it goes. Because if you're a chords player, you know that the lower you go, this is probably the cleanest it's going to sound. It starts to sound muddy otherwise, as we can demonstrate. If I went like this, that still sounds pretty good. We go here. So they're aware of that, and I've programmed it so. You can play them in any order that you want. It is velocity sensitive. Now, when I first saw this tool, I thought, what am I going to do with this? I play chords myself. The thing is, it's supposed to be a tool to help with writer's block if you don't have any ideas. And also, with a chord guide there, it's kind of like the smart chords feature that I've demonstrated in session strings and I think also session horns. You can learn chords. It shows you which notes on the on-screen keyboard, and you can learn the names of what's being played. So it can help. I won't say it is the way to learn music theory, but it can help. All right, so let's look at some things we can do with this. Right here, octave 0. So if you want it to go higher than it is going, you can change the octave right here, put it back. So all of these correspond. Now, you're not locked to playing just these chords. You could, well, right now it's not locked into key, but if you did want to lock it, you go up here to this lock and you would say that, so that whenever you change settings, like here in the randomize, it stays in C minor. Now, if we don't do that and we hit randomize, you can see it moved it to G minor. So we can put it back to C minor, lock. And then, let's see, playable range, C1 to C4. Simple keyboard mode, advanced mode. So playable range here. And then the chord selector. This is a section I need to learn more about. So we'll keep it in simple mode, and show chord names is on. You could turn that off, but we'll leave it on because I like to see the names of the chords here. All right, and we go random again, bull. Interesting. Now, you can do the random here, or you could do random here. It's all still in the key of C minor. And then the cool feature you can do right here as I'm looking at this section is we can take this and we can go like that. That is the MIDI. So we could use this chord on anything. I have my metronome turned on. In this case, it's on piano, but we could take it and we could put it on something like our strings or our reactor patch here. So let's bring it down. Put it up here. What is this? That's a viola, so that doesn't work so well. It's a drum thing, so it's not going to do quite the same thing. We could put it on our Alicia's keys. Right. You get the point. Let's bring back our interface. All right. Now, the next setting that we have that we can tweak is our humanize settings. I'm going to put it at an arbitrary number. I've been playing around with that. Seems to be right. Okay, so this makes it well, let's put it back to a thing like this. Let's put it in this airy. Okay, and if we put it up here like this, and then if you click this arrow on top, you can choose how it's humanizing. So velocity. So velocity staying pretty even. What I like to humanize a little bit more is sometimes we'll have it skip notes a little bit. So we're going to bump that, not very much. If you did it all the way, you can hear it skip some notes there. Where you can really hear it is if you activate the strum feature like this, which means it doesn't play the notes all at once. So you can choose now strumming down. You could have it strum up like this. Okay. Now we might decide that that's too much skipping, and we'll actually bring it down, 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 down. To just. Move time up a little bit. Okay, and that way it doesn't sound too robotically chunk, chunk, right? And we can change. I actually like the descending strum, so. All right, now the final thing I'm going to look at in the chords tool, creating your own chords. So there's this button here that says record. So we can go here like this, and we can go, I'm going to do some chords that I know, that I used to know. Okay, let's make sure that worked. No, it didn't. Okay, so. So you can see you hit record, or you could just hit the next record button, they say. Dun, dun, dun. And then here. Okay. Okay, and there we have all the chords with the strum and the humanize, and I could even make it go the other way. Go down. And then you can do the order differently. I just really like the strum, so I'm going with it. Now, if we turn the strum all the way off, then it would obviously play it the way that I did. There we have the chords feature. So these are just a few things I think they got right. I know right is kind of subjective, but features that I enjoy in this version of Kontakt, and we'll look at more in a future video. If you want to see my almost 10-year review of the Keystation 61, check out the video over here. And if you want to see my wife and I exploring Ireland through the Spotlight collection of 11 Irish and traditional instruments, check out the video over here. Stay curious.